What is up, all of you beautiful YouTube family? Welcome back to the Bad LSX Garage YouTube channel. If you've been keeping up with my videos, you know that we recently just got back from Key West. While we was in Key West, we took a little tour of Ernest Hemingway's house. Now, Ernest Hemingway isn't somebody that I really knew a whole lot of. I have throughout the years read maybe a couple of his books, but I really didn't know that much about him. But while we was there, we took the tour and I learned an astronomical amount of information about him. If you don't know who Ernest Hemingway is or was, he was an American novelist. He was a short story writer and a journalist. He was best known for his economical, understated style that significantly influenced the later 20th century writer. He was often romanticized for his adventurous lifestyle. He absolutely loved women. And he was outspoken and blunt for his public image. Listen, if this is something you're interested in, you do want to stick around and stay tuned. Right now, though, let's roll to the intro. Get in a car like this and smile, there's something wrong with you. Ernest Miller Hemingway was born July 21st, 1899 in Oak Park, Illinois. After high school, he spent 6 months as a cub reporter for the Kansas City Star before enlisting in the Red Cross. He served as an ambulance driver on the Italian front in World War I and was seriously wounded in 1918. His wartime experiences formed the basis for his 1929 novel, A Farewell to Arms. He married Hadley Richardson in 1921, the first of the 4 wives. He divorced Richardson in 1927 and married Pauline Pfeiffer. They divorced after they returned from the Spanish Civil War, where he had worked as a journalist and which formed the basis for his 1940 novel, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Martha Gellhorn became his 3rd wife in 1940. He and Gellhorn separated after he married Welsh in London during World War II. This house in Key West was actually bought by Hemingway's 2nd wife, Pauline Pfeiffer. It was on the corner of Whitehead and Olivia Street, and although Hemingway claimed that he was restless in Key West at this house, he wrote a great deal of what would be his most important work. The house is a 2-level structure built in 1851 by Asa Tift, a successful architect and salvager, and the Hemingway bought it in 1931. Today, the home is a historical site and remains filled with Hemingway furniture and artifacts. Throughout each room are both original furnishings and memorabilia. The bed in the master bedroom is actually 2 double beds that Hemingway wired together, and the headboard is a gate made of Spanish mahogany that Hemingway and his wife had seen in a monastery in Spain. A bench in the foyer is from the same monastery.
December of 1933, thanks again to Pauline's rich Uncle Gus, pays for everything, isn't he? He bought their car, he bought this house, now he's paying for the trips. Folks, this one in 1933 cost him $25,000 back then. Yeah, that is $500,000 today. It was a heck of a trip. Had an amazing time. Ernest went back to Africa several times over his life. His final trip was about 20 years after this first one. He took his last wife, Mary, on safari. And this was meant to be a trip of a lifetime for both of them. But it very nearly took both of their lives, twice within 2 days.
If you're wondering what's going on with all the cats, he absolutely loved cats, particularly 6-fingered polydactyl cats. He believed them to be good luck. There are countless photos of Hemingway with them while he wrote and while he lounged. Apparently, they were the only ones who had access to his studio. Today, all of the 48 cats or so, I think there's more, on the property are descendants of the Hemingway cats, and all of them carry the gene for the polydactyl mutation.
It's pretty much frozen in time from the last time Ernest walked out of there. Furnishings, rugs, upholstery, books and reference materials, items in the back of the safari. Even his Royal Portal typewriter's up there on the table right where he left it, guys. That's the one he took all over the globe as a war correspondent. The only one here at the house that he actually used when he lived here.
One could say that Ernest Hemingway was actually obsessed with boxing. In fact, he was so obsessed with boxing that he had his own boxing ring, official size, in his backyard in Key West. Hemingway polished his boxing skills as an amateur, and during a visit to Beamy in 1935, he offered $250 to anybody who could knock him out in 3 rounds. 4 natives stepped up to take that challenge and were disposed of one by one. So while in Key West, Hemingway often invited fighters to spar in his backyard ring and even became a referee. His short stories like 50 Grand, The Killers, and The Battler used boxing as a theme, and a main character called Robert Kahn in his novel The Sun Also Rises had a boxing background. As I said, Hemingway was obsessed with boxing and once sparred with heavyweight champion Gene Tunney. This pool now replaced what once was a boxing ring. And this penny right here on the ground, the significance, well, let's talk about that.
This particular time in history, he's off in Spain. He's covering the Spanish Civil War along with his secret girlfriend, Martha Gilford. Well, Polly found out.
I told you guys in the beginning that Ernest Hemingway actually was infatuated with women. He loved women. He was a ladies' man. He was so much of a ladies' man that while married to his second wife, he took his mistress to Cuba. And, well, that didn't go over well with the second wife. The second wife decided to hit him where it hurt the worst, and that was in that boxing ring. She decided if she was going to go through that life, that she would just go ahead and tear down the boxing ring and have a swimming pool put in its place. And that's exactly what she did. It was the biggest one within 100 miles. Matter of fact, it was the only one like this within 100 miles. It was 80,784 gallons of salt water. It was 24 feet wide, 60 feet long. It was 10 foot deep at the south end and 5 foot deep at the north end. Huge, massive pool. Now, obviously, when Ernest got back, he freaked out because he's thinking that his second wife was spending his money on this gargantuan pool. But she didn't. She was actually spending her rich uncle's money, the one who bought the house, the one who's buying the cars and paying for the trips. But Ernest didn't know that at the time. So rumor has it that he actually pulled in his pocket a penny, a little red cent, and he threw it at his second wife. It supposedly hit her. Now, we don't know if it truly did or not. That's what she had told some people in rumors, you know, but we truly don't know. But his words were, "You have wiped me out, and here is my last penny." And when he threw it, that pool was only half built. That concrete was still wet. Where that penny dropped is where that penny lies today. Unfortunately and sadly, Ernest Hemingway shot himself in the head in 1961 with his favorite double-barreled shotgun at the age of 61. We know that he was depressed because of his failing health and inability to continue writing. We know that he had problems from the war, from where he had hurt himself in the war. He was in a couple of plane crashes. He just had several health issues going on. And his family, the majority of them also had committed suicide. His father, Clarence, which was a physician, his brother, Lester, his sister, Ursula, and his granddaughter, which his granddaughter was an actress. They had all committed suicide. It's just sad. There's other ways out. I really want to say more about this, but I'm just going to leave it at that, other than if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling suicidal or you're feeling depressed, call somebody. There's help out there. There's 1-800 numbers. There's psychiatrists. There's friends. There's people that don't want to see you go down that route. That's no way to go. But Hemingway won both Nobel and Pulitzer Prizes for literature and left behind masterpieces that's immortalized in 27 books and over 50 short stories. I just thought that I would bring you this little bit of history, a little bit of something different. It's not normal stuff that we do here. Matter of fact, this will probably be the last video that I do like this, but I thought it was interesting and I just wanted to pass it along. If you've enjoyed it, go down there and give me a big thumbs up. That's all I've got for you for this week's video, and until next week, we should be getting back into motorcycle content here pretty soon. Stick around, stay tuned, fam. I love you. Love each and every one of you. Are you ready? Let's do this. Peace. I'm out.